You're listening to Why You Feel Like This, the series that explains what no one tells you about identity, consistency, and why change hasn't held. This is episode 5, Why You Keep Going Back to Old Patterns. This is where people start getting frustrated with themselves, because deep down, they know better. They've read the books, watched the videos, set the goals, started again. But somehow, they keep ending up back in the same cycle. Same habits, same reactions, same self-sabotage. And after a while, you stop feeling hopeful about change. You start expecting yourself to fail. That's what happened to me after leaving the army. From the outside, I probably looked functional. I still knew how to operate, still knew how to perform. But internally, I was stuck in patterns I didn't understand. Some weeks I felt focused, structured, clear. Then stress would hit, pressure, fatigue, emotion, overwhelm. And suddenly, everything collapsed again. That inconsistency messes with your head, because when you repeatedly break promises to yourself, self-trust starts disappearing. That's one of the most dangerous parts of unstable identity, not failure, loss of self-belief, because eventually you stop trusting your own intentions. And the reason this happens is because behavior is rarely driven by logic alone. It's driven by conditioning, patterns, repetition, emotional familiarity. That means even when a behavior hurts you, your brain still recognizes it as familiar. And familiar feels safe, even when it's destructive. That's why people return to avoidance, withdrawal, overthinking, anger, shutdown, numbing. Not because they want to, because the brain prioritizes familiarity over growth. That's important to understand, because people keep trying to change behavior without changing the system underneath it. That rarely lasts. And honestly, that's why motivation burns out so quickly. Motivation can start behavior, but identity sustains it. That's the difference. After leaving the military, I kept trying to force discipline back into my life. But the army didn't just give me discipline. It gave me structure, routine, certainty, belonging, accountability. When that disappeared, my nervous system lost stability too. So I kept blaming myself for inconsistency, without understanding the environment had changed completely. That awareness changed everything for me, because instead of attacking myself emotionally, I started observing the patterns properly. What triggered the behavior? What emotional state came before it? What environment made it worse? That's when behavior stops feeling random. And once behavior stops feeling random, you stop feeling powerless. That's where real change begins, not through pressure, through awareness. That's why in Oris, awareness always comes first, because you cannot regulate what you refuse to observe. Repeated behavior creates reinforced identity, which means every time you repeat avoidance, quitting, withdrawal, self-neglect, the brain strengthens that pathway. But the opposite is also true. Repeated awareness creates control. Repeated discipline creates self-trust. Repeated regulation creates stability. That's why small actions matter more than dramatic change, because identity stabilizes through repetition, not intensity. That shift changed my life, because eventually I stopped trying to become perfect again and started focusing on becoming consistent again. That's a completely different goal. Perfection creates pressure. Consistency creates stability, and stability changes behavior long term. So if you're listening right now, feeling frustrated because you keep falling back into old patterns, hear this clearly. Patterns can be interrupted, identity can stabilize again, but awareness has to come before control. That's where the rebuild starts, one deliberate response at a time. If this episode helped you understand yourself differently, subscribe to the channel for future episodes, or click the link below and start the free 5-day reset today.